What's up, Revolution? It's your interns here. Before we get started, we just wanted to see if you guys have picked up any new hobbies or anything like that. Just comment down below and share what you guys have been up to. And now we have a little devotion for you guys. It's out of Exodus 3 and 4.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of a summary before we jump into our verses. Right now, Moses is at the burning bush talking with God. And currently the Israelites are in captivity in Egypt. And they have been crying out for God to free them from the Egyptians. God has heard their cries, and he has a plan to rescue them from Egypt and to bring them to the promised land. So we're going to pick up in Exodus 3:12 through 15. I'm going to read in the NIV, but you guys can follow along or read in whatever version you prefer. So verse 12. And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. Moses said to God, suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What should I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name you shall call me from generation to generation. Then we have a little bit of a gap where God is just revealing to Moses his plan to free the Israelites. And he's just showing Moses his power through miraculous signs and wonders. Then we pick back up in Exodus 4:10 through 16. Verse 10, Moses said to the Lord, pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past, nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue. The Lord said to him, who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, and I will help you speak and will teach you what to say. But Moses said, pardon your servant, Lord. Please send someone else. Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, what about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. But you shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He said, he will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth and as if you were God to him.
God has called you, and sometimes it's not always easy things that he's called you to. But God can bring up mentors and leaders in your life to help you through those tough times, and sometimes you have to go and seek them out for yourself too. And sometimes we'll have friends that are going through difficult times, and God can bring you into their life and be a leader for them or anything like that. And God doesn't always just call you at the big events in your life or the altar calls, but sometimes it's when you're just at home or you're working or you're hanging out with family and friends. God doesn't use our timing, he uses his timing.
Yeah, God does not only call you, but he equips you. Moses gave God so many reasons why he thought he was not the right one for God's plan. But God does not make mistakes in choosing people for his plan. Each one of you are equipped in your own ways to influence and to lead the people around you in God's kingdom. You may see all your inabilities as reasons for God not to use you, but those are the exact abilities God wants to use in his kingdom. Verse 12, now go and I will help you speak and will teach you what to say. He didn't just tell Moses to go do what he was comfortable, what he knew he was capable of doing, but he asked Moses to do things that would stretch and grow him. God was not caught off guard when Moses came up with a bunch of excuses. God just wants to use a willing person to work through their inabilities.
All right, God is who he says he is. God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent you. So Moses was worrying about who he was supposed to tell the Israelites that had sent him, and God simply told him to say that I am has sent you. it's more than just a name, I am. When God says I am has sent you, he's saying that the God who made all these promises to Abraham long ago, the God who had made promises throughout history up until this moment, is the same God who is going to not only free him from slavery, but provide a new place for him in the future, a place that is way better than Egypt could ever be for them, was going to not only hold those promises, but promise something new as well. And so it was not only reassuring Moses about his purpose, but it was also reassuring the Israelites about what he was going to have for them. And so I just wanted to remind you that when that relates to us, it shows us that God not only is a God who keeps his promises, but who always has our interests at heart. And anytime we worry, just go back to God and ask him, Lord, who is sending me to do this? And God will always, always remind you that it is him, and he will always remind you of what he has promised. So the 3 points that we wanted to remind you of is God calls you, God equips you, and God is who he says he is. So we have some questions. The first one is, do you feel there is an area that God has called you to? Do you trust that God has equipped you with everything that you need? And do you trust that God is who he says he is, even if you don't know the end result of the situation? All right, guys, we love you. We miss you. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and hopefully we'll get to see you guys soon. Take care.
Bye, guys.
All right.